Okay, she keep calling every single night. And I don't mind pushing you to ride.
Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about a Black Ops 4 tips video actually, so something new to try and we'll see how it goes. So what we're going to be talking about is all the Blackout perks, what I think that I've rated them best to worst in my opinion. You may have a different opinion, but this is what I think. So we're going to rate them best to worst, the tips, some tips for them, like how you could properly use them. So before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe if you want some more of the Black Ops 4 tips videos or gameplay videos. Make sure you comment what you want, because small channel, whatever you want, you'll probably get it. So number 14, there's 14 total perks. What I think is the worst perk is going to have to be Squad Link. Squad Link is only available in duos and squads, and what it does, it outlines your teammates through walls, which I just don't think it's very useful at all. I don't see any use for it. I don't see how it could be actually useful or worth having in your inventory, because like there's a marker with a name tag where your teammate is, so it doesn't really matter. So I do see how Squad Link could easily really help in a situation if you don't know how far your teammate is, but then that is what the minimap is for as well, so I just don't think Squad Link is very good, and that's why it's going in at the last place. Number 13 is going to have to be mobility, which the only thing it really does is it makes you move a little bit faster and it swaps your weapons faster. And it also reduces your fall damage. You don't take fall damage. I do see how this could help, but like the speed that would be good. The fall damage, that would also be good, but if it's high enough for you to take fall damage, you can sprint and actually glide off the edge, which actually gets you further anyway. So I understand swapping weapons faster, but as long as you have cover, you should be fine to swap your weapons. So that's going to go at our number 13. Coming at number 12 is going to have to be Consumer. Consumer reduces the time that it takes to apply consumables, so like other perks, healing items. I don't think it helps revive teammates though, so that's not going to be very useful. I don't see, because it's already fast enough. I don't think it has much use, and most of these at the bottom aren't really going to have much use in my opinion. Number 11, which actually does have a little bit of use, is going to have to be Luda, which is really, really good for the early game, but I really only think it's good for the early game when you need more loot. After that, you aren't going to need it for the rest of the game, so that's going to come at number 11. Number 10 is going to be Outlander. Outlander reduces the damage you take in the zone, in the storm, and it speeds you up in the zone as well. I understand how this could be very useful, but I'm not saying it's bad, but there's also lots of other perks that are much better and that could be used to a better advantage, so that's going to be at number 10. Number 9 is going to have to be Brawler. Brawler, on successful melee hits, you get 50 health, which is actually a lot because the max you can get without a trauma kit is 150. With the trauma kit, you get 200. So 3 hits and you get all the way back up to full health. It also increases the damage you do for melee hits. So if you have the combat knife, you should be able to do some decent damage. So that's going to come at number 9. Number 8 is Iron Lungs. It's pretty self-explanatory. Most people would think that it increases your time of breath underwater. Yes, it does. And it also steadies your sniper scope for longer. So when you aim in, normally the scope's going to be a little bit shaky, and Iron Lungs is going to stop that for a little bit of time when you first scope in. So you're gonna have a better clear shot at the person you're aiming at. So that is going to be at our number. What number is that? That's going to be at number 8. I mean, number 7 is Skulker, which I think is actually very good and very useful, as you can get around faster while crouched and prone. so people can't actually hear you. It's a good way to sneak around houses. So that's going to be at number 7. Number 6 is Engineer. Engineer allows you to see any placed devices or electronics through walls at up to a certain distance. So, say someone placed like a barbed wire at a door, you can see that through walls. So it basically gives you a location on any devices, so, as a warning. And this works. This also works on vehicles like trucks, helicopters, and quad bikes. You can see them through walls. You can see their outline. So yeah, that's going to come in at number 6. That could be very useful for making a quick getaway or trying to avoid a trap. Number 5 is going to be Medic. Medic lets you heal and revive players faster, and healing items also give you more health. And when you revive a downed player, it's going to give them more health. So that's always good to pop on before you revive someone, especially if you don't have many meds. Alright, number 4 is going to have to be Reinforced. What Reinforced does is it Reinforced reduces damage from any throwables such as explosives and molotovs. And it also increases your resistance to flashbangs, concussion, and razor wires. So it's going to decrease the time that concussion mines and flashbangs are actually like affecting you. So that is going to be very useful in the end game because gadgets are everything in the end game. We're going to have more videos on that later this week for what gadgets you should always keep for the end game. So this will really help to go against it. At our number 3 spot is Dead Silence. It muffles your footsteps and movement. So basically it silences you to other players so you can't actually hear them. This is going to be very good for the end game when you're trying to sneak around in a small circle. And it's going to be really good to hold on to for the mid game as well, for those smaller fights to get away maybe. Number 2 is going to have to be Paranoia, which is I always have Paranoia if I find one. Paranoia, it's new to any games I've ever played. So what it does when you equip it, if someone aims their sight at you, there's like a ringing. There's a ringing sound that you hear through your audio, and you can hear it from the direction that the person is that's aiming at you. So it basically tells you with an audio cue that someone is aiming at you. Someone can see you and they're aiming down their sights at you. Now at our number 1, this is, in my personal opinion, the best perk that you should always keep and that you should always have on you. Number 1 is going to be Awareness. What Awareness does is it, once again, new to most games that I've played, all it does is makes the enemy's footsteps louder. That's all it does. Spot is Dead Silence. It muffles your footsteps and movement. So basically it silences you to other players so you can't actually hear them. This is going to be very good for the end game when you're trying to sneak around in a small circle. And it's going to be really good to hold on to for the mid game as well, for those smaller fights to get away maybe. Number 2 is going to have to be Paranoia, which is I always have Paranoia if I find one. Paranoia, it's new to any games I've ever played. So what it does when you equip it, if someone aims their sight at you, there's like a ringing. There's a ringing sound that you hear through your audio, and you can hear it from the direction that the person is that's aiming at you. So it basically tells you with an audio cue that someone is aiming at you. Someone can see you and they're aiming down their sights at you. Now at our number 1, this is, in my personal opinion, the best perk that you should always keep and that you should always have on you. Number 1 is going to be Awareness. What Awareness does is it, once again, new to most games that I've played, all it does is makes the enemy's footsteps louder. That's all it does. So it just increases the player's footsteps, so you can hear other players. The only downside to this is that it's kind of hard to tell how far away they are, but it tells you that they're there before they even know you're there. So you're going to always have the advantage in knowing where they're coming from and getting shots on them before they can even see you. This goes really well with not really paranoia, not really, but dead silence. You can move around and hear others. That's really good with awareness. So yeah, I think that's the number one perk that should always be in your inventory if you find one. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. That was all the perks in best to worst from my opinion. If you have a different opinion, post what you think in the comments below. Tell me what you think is your favorite or the best perk that you can use. And like and subscribe for more, because we're going to have more of these tip videos out next week. Around this week or next week. And I'll see you soon.